Good morning, guys. So today I'm going to be here to test out a new foundation that came to the drugstore. It's the new Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint foundation. It says moisturize and plump skin for 24 hours, and it looks like this. It is 1.0 fluid ounces, and I believe it was around $12. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake it up. I got my color in natural beige. There wasn't like anything in between. It was this and then something completely darker and orange. So hopefully this one matches my skin. I did do a little bit of color correcting. You can probably see it in the camera. I've got a few blemishes I'm trying to cover up, and this is supposed to be a lightweight foundation. I don't believe it's a full coverage at all. It's just a hydrating tinted foundation, and since I have oily skin, I figured I would do a little bit of color correcting to hopefully keep the foundation covering up some spots in my face. So let's see what it looks like here. So this foundation looks like the one from Clinique. I think it's Clinique. It might be from Clinique. I can't remember if it's Clinique or another brand, but I'm pretty sure it's Clinique that has like that big doe foot in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dot some on my face here. And I'll put one side on with the brush and the other side on with the Beauty Blender to see if it does better on one side or the other. So we'll start with the brush side first. I'm just gonna put some on here. It's really lightweight and it doesn't feel like I'm getting very much when I'm putting it on. So let's see how this goes on, and I hope I'm in focus. I put my glasses on to see if I was, so let's see here. Yeah, that's a good color for me. I'm using my Stay Matte primer from Rimmel, and then I'm also using a pore filler too from Smashbox, and it's just the photo finish pore filler from Smashbox. Here we go. So you can tell it's a little dewy. It's not a matte foundation. It doesn't claim to be, so that's fine. Alright, so that's the way this side looks. It's very light coverage, but it does do the job, if you can see. I might put a little bit more on this side with the Beauty Blender. We'll see. Let's go ahead and do the other side with the blender and see how that works. Alright, there is the blender side. I feel like it does really good with both. I think I like the blender side better. I feel like the blender side gave me more coverage. Put just a little bit more on this side and blend it out with the blender. Maybe on this side too. Just to cover up a little bit more of the redness that I have. And it looks like it might have blended away some of my color correcting, but I'm not very good at color correcting, so there we go, that's what I want there. And I did put the pore filler just on my nose area and slightly on my cheeks right here. So I didn't put it all over my face, but I did put the Stay Matte primer all over my face. So just so you know how I'm doing this today. Alright, I think it's doing really well. What I'm going to do is, it is creasing a little bit under my eyes there. Let's just put a little concealer on. This is the Kat Von D concealer. Alright, and then I'm going to take my Besame translucent and purple violet powder. Brightening violet powder is what it's called. I'm going to go ahead and set this. And just so you guys know, I do wear glasses throughout the day. That's why when I do my test throughout the day, you'll see like how it's faded away on my nose area on the sides there. But that's just because I am wearing glasses. So that's something to let you guys know. Alright, so now that it's set and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and have coffee. I do like the way it goes on. I think it gives a pretty good coverage. It's not a full coverage, and I don't believe that it claims to be a full coverage at all. This is what it looks like on the face with a concealer, which is the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer, and then a little bit of powder to hold it. And that's, I'm just basically baking a little bit there. Right now, it's 6:16 in the morning. So I'll go do that, and then I'll come back and show you how it works with makeup and give you some information on how the makeup applies on top of it, and then I'll go throughout the day and show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like with the full face of makeup. I think it does really well with other makeups. It does not move around. The other makeups apply very evenly on top of it, so I'm pretty impressed with that. I didn't have any issues whatsoever this morning, so I'm pretty excited about it. I look really sleepy. My under eyes look a little bit puffy, but that's normal. I've been having some allergy issues lately, so don't mind that. Hopefully it will go down by the end of the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to work, and then I'll be back in about 5 to 6 hours, show you what it looks like then, and then I'll show you again at the end of the night like I normally do on these foundation tests. So we are trying out the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint Foundation with hyaluronic acid. I'm gonna go ahead and go to work, and I shall be back in about 6 hours. Alright guys, so it is now 1:07 in the afternoon. So it is my lunch break. I've been wearing this foundation for just about, I would say, a little under 7 hours already. So I am getting really oily. So I'm gonna go ahead and just blot real quick so that I can get some of this oil off of my face. See how it looks after I blot. Definitely oily. So it's definitely oily. I think it's still doing really well. It's, aside from the fact that it's kind of faded away here on the sides of my face. So it's been about 7 hours. I would say at about 5 hours those started fading away. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit more of the foundation in those areas, because I know that at about 5 hours those marks that are just really prominent are going to be disappearing. But as far as the rest of my face, I feel like it's doing a really good job at, you know, hanging in there for that. It's just these areas where I have these prominent scarring marks that are just not staying. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through with that so that I can get through the rest of the day without feeling uncomfortable about those marks. I'll just blend in a little bit more there since I'm here. And I am going to take a little bit more setting powder and just set a little bit of setting powder on my face in the areas where I feel like I'm gonna get really oily in another couple of hours. So I'm just taking the Coty Airspun and just lightly patting it in the areas. And then here in the areas where I just put some more of the foundation. I feel like this would be a really good foundation for normal to dry skin, because I don't see any like dry patches or anything like that. And I think that with, you know, a little bit of maintenance for us, you know, oily skin girls, I think this is a really good foundation as well. So just like I said, at 7 hours, I've had to just come and touch it up a little bit by blotting, just putting a little bit more in the extra spots where I feel like it faded away. And I think that did a lot better there. It's still not like completely full coverage, but I think it looks a little bit better for my peace of mind just to put a little bit more. But other than that, I think the foundation is doing really well. Still have another 4 hours before my day has ended, maybe 4.5 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it at that. You guys can see I feel like the coverage is still there. I just got a little oily, but even though I got oily, it did not like break up the foundation in my T-zone. It just got oily. So that's that. And I didn't take any blotting sheets with me to work because I wanted to do that on camera just to see how it would hold up throughout the day. I do feel like my contour and my blush has gone away throughout the day. I do feel like I still can see a little bit of the highlight there, but my contour and my blush has, you know, faded away kind of a little bit. And I'm assuming that has to do with the foundation, because normally my contour or my blush will stay on a little bit longer, and that could just be, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw a little bit more on there so you can see what I'm talking about of how it like kind of faded away there. So I do feel like that's just the foundation itself. So this is a foundation that will, you know, I don't know how to even put it. Your blush and stuff may not last as long with this foundation, and it's really weird, but that's just how I feel. That's a little bit better for me. So for me in my oily skin, this is a foundation that I do need to do touch-ups with at some point during the day if I want to wear it all day long. But I feel like just those little steps that I just took now makes me feel a lot better about it. So I'll be back in another 4 to 5 hours and end this review on this foundation. But so far so good. If you wanted to know what makeup I have on my eyes today, I am wearing this pastel palette on my eyes, and I just mixed it with a little bit of the Shade and Light palette as well. So I have this on and then Shade and Light. I'm trying to wear this every single day so I can get some good use out of it and see how I like it because it's so vibrant, but I think it looks pretty good today. So all right, I'll be back in about 5 hours to finish off this review and let you know what my final thoughts are on the foundation, but so far so good. I shall talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. So this is the end of my day here. As you remember, I put on some more contour because it was fading away a little bit, and I did put a little bit more of the foundation here on the sides of my face because that was fading away as well. But it is now 4:53, so it's almost 5 o'clock, which means I've had this foundation on for a little bit over 10 hours, closer to 11 hours. And I feel like the foundation is a really nice foundation. I don't have any issues with it. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit oily once again, which is okay because it's the end of my day. And I think that once the oils start coming through, then this foundation is kind of one of those that just fades away slowly on my face. But if I look in a mirror, you don't see any like blotchy parts of my face. When I did blot, none of the foundation came off. It just started fading away in these areas because I tend to do this type of stuff during the day because that's what I do. So it will fade away if you touch your face a lot. I'm gonna take off half of it so you can see what the coverage is now at the 11-hour mark. So let me just go through. I'm not gonna take off any of the eye makeup, just the actual foundation here so you can see what the coverage is at 11 hours. But I do feel like it still has really good coverage, and you can see there's a lot of foundation and stuff coming off. So that has really stood on my face for a good, 11 hours. And I do have really oily skin, so I do feel like this foundation is a really nice foundation, and it does not claim to, suppress any oils or anything like that in your face. So with that being said, I do like this. I really do. I mean, like I said, there's a little bit more maintenance when it comes to this foundation for me because I have oily skin, but I think somebody with normal to dry skin, this would be a perfect foundation for you. And even though I do have the oily skin, I have no issues with this whatsoever. I really, really don't. So let me just finish taking this off here. And as you can see, there's still a lot of foundation on my face there. So this side is the side with the foundation still, and this side here is me taking it off. So you can see after 11 hours, I feel like this is a great foundation. It cost me about $12 to $13 at Walmart. I think depending on where you get it, I think at like Ulta it's anywhere between $14 to $15, but I like it. I really like it. I think it does a really good job of staying on for most of the day. Like I said, I did have to put some more here where I have these scars on my face from like acne. I have like a really bad acne problem for my face. Even at almost 40 years old, I still have a really bad acne problem. So I mean, this I think has stood on my face very well for an all-day 11-hour period. And I feel like even though it's not a mattifying foundation, I think for 11 hours of wear time on this Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint foundation, I think it's a good buy. I really, really do. I really like it. Now that my skin has calmed down a little bit, you can still see the difference there. So I would highly suggest this. I think it's a good one. So let me know what you guys think about this Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint Foundation if you've tried it. This is the first time I've tried a Neutrogena foundation. I'm pleasantly surprised with the outcome of it. So this side again is the side that I just took it off. This side is 11 hours worth of wear time, except for this area here where I did put a little bit more at the 7-hour mark. So I highly suggest it. I think it would be great for anybody with any skin texture. I have some dry areas on my face, and it did not emphasize those dry areas on my face, so that was really nice. I think it lasted for a really long time. So let me know what your thoughts are. Put it down in the comment section down below if you've tried it, if you like it, if you hate it, let me know. I want to know what your issues were if you didn't like this foundation. If you haven't tried it, I hope that this helped you out somewhat, I guess that's it. That's my review. I really like it. I think it's a good one. I'm using the color Natural Beige number 60. So if you're anywhere near my skin color, that would be a good match for you. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I'm going to go have dinner with my family, and I shall talk to you guys sometime next week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.